I think creating avenues or opportunities or spaces, like you have done, for that sort of creative expression. Everyone's got creativity, in some way or another, some more than others, I guess. But giving people an opportunity to give and express themselves. But I think that's one of the ways to happiness and fulfillment is actually to do something for other people. Most people realise that at some point in their lives, and that's a way of leading a more fulfilled life. So creating structures and processes and opportunities, spaces for that to happen is obviously important. One of the things that I think, this is a bit of a hobby horse, but something I think is paralysing our societies and our organisations is risk management and fear. We're too afraid to take risks and express ourselves and go with intuition and I suppose more subconscious type ideas and processes and relationships, and we're so afraid of making mistakes these days, and that's inhibiting this sort of spirit that you're talking about. Well, the numbers are quite staggering in terms of mental ill health and consequent social exclusion. There are about 4 million Australians every year affected by mental ill health. And then there's the deep end of that pool, where people who have serious mental health problems, and they're probably the most excluded of all, and especially if they're not able to work or be involved in social activities of various kinds. So it's a very widespread problem. That's the human side of it, the loneliness, the suffering, and all of these things which we can do a lot more about. But then there's the productivity and economic side of it. I mean, it's weakening the country in a terrible way, and the reason is because mental ill health surfaces and starts to impact right on the threshold of productive adult life in adolescents and young adults who should be flourishing. They should be completing their training and education. They should be forming the relationships that set them up for the rest of their lives. And those things don't happen because of poor mental health. And the main health issue in young people, which affects up to 50% of them at some point in this transition, is mental ill health. If that really impacts, then it's weakening economically in terms of productivity of the whole performance of the country. So someone's described this once as a form of self-harm practiced by the society on itself, by not actually taking care of these young people as they make this transition. It's hard to know. I think that a lot more research needs to be done on that, and there is a new cooperative research centre, the Young and Well CRC, that's been set up to study this, but so there's a lot of opinion floating around about this now. We see the upside of it with better connection, almost too much connection, 24/7 type connection, especially in young people. It does actually have some positive effects and as a safety net effect, I think. Some people say it's a kind of a more superficial type of connection, a short attention span type connection, which doesn't have the depth of face-to-face or direct human contact. So, but I think within these things are put as an either-or sort of thing. I mean, it's a bit simplistic. We've got to see the thing as a continuum, with normal relationships face-to-face, complemented by these online and other sort of connections. And there's obviously a capacity for social media to do a fair amount of harm as well, in terms of cyberbullying and in terms of, I suppose, what we're calling trolling these days, where people can just say whatever they want, free of any kind of sanction from, litigation or any other sort of accountability for what they say. And I think people in the public eye are often very subject to those sorts of attacks, whether they're sports people, politicians, and so on. But that's something that I think we've got to get a better handle on.